Hi, everyone. Welcome to our 2025 Rush Creek Growers New Plants. My name is Amy, and I am one of the salespeople here. So you have probably seen me or talked to me on the phone. So I am going to go through our new plants, and we're going to have some guests this year joining us. Some of our growers are going to chat along with me about some of the plants. So we thought that might be a little more interesting. So let's dive right in. As we get started, I just wanted to mention quickly that these are all of the new plants for 2025. And if you wanted to see our whole lineup, be sure to check out our website. We do update the photos now and again of the renewing plants that are kind of staples. But do check out the website for more information. So, all right, so as we start with Specialty Annuals, these are 4-inch round pots and they're 10 in a flat. Tira is one of the growers that helps us with the annuals, and she's going to talk about a few of our new Specialty Annuals and foliage and grass. Take it away, Tira.
Hi, Amy. Thank you.
Hi.
The first item on our list is Angelonia Angel Flare Black. And this we saw at Ohio this year at the trade show, and it was stunning from a distance. You definitely see it. And it just pops in these combinations with other bright colors because it has this dark black that's really striking, this great open V shape. It only gets about 8 to 12 inches tall, but that makes it a really good companion in containers. And yeah, beautiful.
Mhm. Next, we have Begonia Funshine, and we were looking for a nice sunny yellow that wasn't too washed out, wasn't too obnoxious. So this one we think will fit the bill, and it's got a nice mounding habit, kind of medium height, 12 to 16. We've added a couple new Calabricoas. This is Aloha Nanny Midnight Blue there in the center, and Colibri Bright Red over on the left. These are both mounding habits. We like to stick with the kind of medium vigor mounding habit, Calabricoa that aren't too sprawling. We had to sub these for Cruise Control Dark Blue and Red Delicious. We still really love the Cruise Control, but we've also had good luck with these two series in the past too. And this Colibri Orange Calabricoa is a new one for us and just a nice solid orange. Mini famous Uno Ember Eclipse. This one just caught my eye at Ohio this past summer. Super fun, kind of modeled, multicolor look. So that'll be fun to add into combos and things like that. And then another fun eye-catching TikTok Sky Blue. Again, medium vigor, semi-trailing habit. So this is gonna be a little more sprawly, but still in that controlled mounding habit. Canna Nova Gold Leopard. We love the Canna series just for their ease of growth. They have, medium height and beautiful flowers, disease resistant. So this one is going to be a solid green with some really fun tigery leopard bicolor blooms. And Tia, you were gonna, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, we just love Kufias for their pollinator appeal. And it's been a few years since we've had one of these red with black bat face ones. And so we wanted to bring this one into the mix this year.
And Dahlia City Lights, this is a nice popular series for us. Medium height on these with the really nice dark, almost near black foliage and the bright doubly blooms. This one is this is Apricot Glow, so it's got that really nice apricot, dark apricot color terracotta. So fun pom-pom doubles.
Dahlia Mega Boom Fire. This is designed to have mega impact in a small amount of space. It doesn't get that tall, only 15 inches, but the blooms on it are huge in the most intense red color. And some of them do turn bicolor, being more of a brilliant yellow right at the center. And this is one that Suzanne, we got it by accident, and Suzanne saw it, stopped and said, "This is an amazing plant." And you always have to take note when Suzanne says something like that. So a happy accident is now in our catalog.
Indeed.
This is another one we trialed last year. It's been in the industry for a while, but it's been so popular we haven't even been able to get it. So we were so excited that last year we got to see it in real life, and it is just as cute as the pictures show it to be. All the different colors of pink and rose and white just make it this perfect little bouquet all in one plant. It's just adorable. This was another one we tried last year, and it was just so cheery. The flowers were quite red and set against that frosty green foliage. It was just way too cute. And when you walk past the dianthus, they smell so good. You have to stop and admire them. So we're really excited to introduce both of these.
Mm-hmm.
This is another one I love. We did it in baskets, and it was just darling. It has a very elegant feel to it and romantic. The petals and the sepals are kind of glossy, and it says mostly upright, turns to semi-trailing as it grows, only 8 to 12 inches. And we're very pleased with the Ballerina series so far. We had Brise last year, and I'm sure you all loved it. It kind of flew off the shelves for us.
Yeah, they are super cute.
Oh, yeah, this one. I'm excited for this one to see this in more containers. It should mix really well. It's 8 to 10 inches tall, little butterfly-shaped flowers, which is why it's called the baby butterfly, and very upright and just blooms all season.
This was one of my picks, Mojo White Splash, or maybe it was a group effort, but so cute. Kind of an old school style, Martha Washington-ish type. It's got a nice compact habit. It's flashy. We just wanted to like mix things up a little bit. So this is Mojo White Splash.
Geranium Starry Pure White. We replaced Darko White with this because we love the novelties so much, and this is one of the novelty geraniums. Some of the petals are complete, and other ones are almost quill-like or like eyelashes. So it's just really unique. The leaves are going to be a solid green, but really beautiful. Not a huge stature, 14 to 18 inches, but I think a good addition to the collection. This is one that was so popular this year in Ohio and all the grower magazines and everything. It's getting all kinds of buzz, not just from the pollinators and native insects that love it and the beneficial insects that we're hoping to see in the greenhouse on it this year. But great branching, very floriferous and cute as can be, and relatively early for a sunflower.
Yeah, it'll be blooming for sure in early spring.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
Impatiens. This is a fun change.
The Impatiens got a facelift this year. Bounces were always tried and true, but there's so many other fun ones out there, and these ones we're pretty excited about. The Harmony series is going to be good for sun to part sun, and they're known for their really consistent mounding habit, and they're going to stay more compact for shipping. We believe that's going to be a lot more beneficial to you and your customers, and just a lot more fun colors. This apricot cream is the one on the left with the peachy oranginess, red bicolor on the right with the candy cane striping, and on those dark leaves, it's really beautiful.
Yeah, and I don't know if you want to mention anything about the fast flowering. So we are getting these sourced from a different supplier, that treat them a little bit differently to help the blooms appear faster so that they're going to be having more color when they get shipped out.
Yeah, they should be blooming a lot earlier, which is very
Mhm.
exciting. So we can get them to you during the peak of your sales when you need them the most. And they'll still be compact and just perfect as can be.
Yeah, so we're gonna go with the harmonies. So that yeah, the harmonies do replace all of the bounces for this next year. Yeah, so then fuchsia cream, radiance, lilac, and snow. So that completes the full series of harmonies. And
Impatient Soul Luna. We have done some of these in the past and they performed so great and they have really beautiful foliage with broad leaves, dark green with that like a striking red vein on them. It's quite noticeable. And the blooms are gigantic on them. It's pretty remarkable. And the
hmm
colors are stunning. And so we thought we'd add a couple more.
hmm
And from full sun to full shade on these too.
Great. Lantana, Shamrock Rose improved. The shamrocks have been really nice, just super floriferous, great for landscape, great for containers, nice branching. And so we have the orange, and now we've got the rose improved.
Mimulus Mai Tai Orange. This is a new one this year. We had the Mimulus Mai Tai Red last year, and we're very impressed with its performance. It bloomed all at the same time, so be ready to get these when they're ready. They're quite striking with a
Mhm.
tropical look, and the orange has these sunset terracotta tones, 16 to 20 inches tall. This is a great one for heat, humidity.
Mhm. Mirabilis Orange Crush. This is one that we trialed last year, and it's so much fun. These Mirabilis, the 4 o'clocks, so they bloom in the cooler mornings and they bloom in the evenings. Um, it's kind of got a little bit of a star pattern in the center and the nice dark green solid foliage. Um, these are probably going to end up shipping green, so I plan to have some bench cards ready for these too. And Petunia Plum Cockatoo, oh my gosh, this was one that I fell in love with last year. Oh, it has a tropical look to it. It's kind of a fun, like avian feel to it. It's really, those are my favorite colors, that purple and that bright green. Love it. It's gonna get not huge, but the flowers are big. These are super tolerant of heat and drought like petunias are. So another fun color combo. Petunia Slingshot Heartwheel. This is another one that caught our eye in Ohio. Who doesn't love a fun star pattern on a petunia? So another fun summery petunia. Surfinia Heavenly Blackberries and Cream. Another eye catcher, unusual color combo, that cream with the darker blackberry center. This is going to be a little bit of a monster, so just know that ahead of time. It does have a very widespread, short height, but it's going to be vista in its habit, so it's going to take over. So it'll be good to fill in large plantings in the ground or as a single species in a planter. Petunia Veranda Little Picasso. Again, we love these chartreuse and purple color combos. This one has a very, very bright purple magenta center with those nice green edges. Another tidy mounding habit on this one. Figelis Color Burst Deep Red. This one's fun. This is kind of a tropical type plant, and it's gonna looks like it's gonna attract hummingbirds and pollinators, and it's a beautiful color, nice and tropical. fun, unusual plant. We're always looking for new salvias. They're so popular with the pollinators. The salgoons, we did trial last year and we were really happy with the colors and the habit. The foliage is really beautiful too. So this Lake Baikal is a little bit of a lighter purple. And then Lake Como is a little bit of a light sky blue. And this one really wowed us. We had this one in-house, and it's really sweet. Salvia Vibe Ignition Sunrise. This is similar to the Rose Bicolor, but the vibes we really love. We do another vibe, fuchsia, and they're beautiful. They're upright, super cute, super fun. Kind of has a an ombre look to it. So that'll be really fun for an upright thriller. Tithonia Fiesta del Sol. This is a dwarf Tithonia. So note that height of 24 to 36 inches. And, you know, we want to just mention, you know, we do the border gem one, the regular nice really tall one for cutting and for filling in the 6-packs. This one is only going to be in the 4-inch, so make note of that. And this one was an AAS flower winner back in the year 2000. And now we're moving on to specialty foliage. Again, these are in the 4-inch round pots, 10 pots per flat.
Caladiums. We decided to mix it up a little bit this year. And what I was really going for were the varieties that are going to come up the earliest, so you can get those sooner. Frida Hempel, she's a classic, big heart-shaped red leaves with that emerald green edge. She's beautiful, and she's good from full sun to full shade, so that can make a big impact in a nice shady spot on a patio, in a container, just really makes an impact. Frog in a Blender, that one is a full to part sun one, not very big, 18 to 24 inches. And Vicky hated the name of Frog in a Blender, but I like how it looks. So you, that's an option for you now.
Yeah, they're sweet, and you can't really see it in this picture, but it does have a little dot of red where the stem meets the leaf. It's really cute.
The one on the left, I have to look at my notes to see remember what it's called.
That one is Rosebud. And
Rosebud.
The one on the right is Strawberry Star.
Strawberry Star. Okay. So Rosebud on the left, that's another one that's good from full sun to full shade. And with that bright pink center set on the white, and again, that emerald green edge, that's going to be some big impact. And then Strawberry Star on the right, mine and Amy's personal favorites. So here you are.
There you go.
Ivory background, that dark green veining with some erratic pink splotches on it. It's just too cute.
It's cheerful and fun.
It is.
And of course, we have to switch up some of our coleus. So this is Coleus Downtown Royalty. You know, nice dark, dramatic colors on this one, and kind of a elongated, serrated leaf shape. So that'll be a little bit fun and dramatic. And this is Downtown Santa Monica. Really fun, splashy colors on this, very tropical feel. The downtowns are not ginormous. They're going to be more of a medium height, and they're going to stay like 12 to 18 inches. Nash Ramblers making a return. So we wanted to keep kind of a fun, twisty option, and this is kind of the most frilly, twisty option that we could get for next year. You know, it's been around, people are familiar with it. It's a great old school coleus. Here's another fun option, Premium Sun Mighty Mosaic. These are, very heat tolerant, very sun tolerant, surprisingly, as a lot of the coleus are being bred for more recently. This is nice, well-branched, fun, splashy colors on this. A little bit taller on 18 to 26 inches. Coleus Terrascape Mojave Sunrise. This one is another one that caught my eye. Just if you're looking for some neutral tones, some warm tones, this has it. Has more kind of a raspberry backing on the leaf and that kind of reptile-y texture on the top. Cordylines, we've got Magic Star and Salsa. So again, we're mixing it up a little bit with some fun new colors. And Dichondra Silver Surfer, we're just mixing up our variety. This one caught our eye because it is a little bit on the shorter side, and it was they were describing it to have a more branching effect. So we're hoping that it fills out the top of the pot a little more before it starts to trail. And of course, we love that soft silvery trailing that these guys do. Dicliptera hummingbird plant. This is another fun one that caught our eye. So we're looking for, the unusual things that we can offer to grow for folks. Hummingbird magnet, soft velvety foliage. We have it in the foliage program because it probably is going to end up blooming a little bit later. But, it will be blooming late summer. And if folks want to bring it in as a novelty houseplant, they certainly could do that. This is going to be another drought tolerant and deer resistant plant. Eucalyptus, another variety for us here. This is sticks, and it caught our eye, just a fun, different leaf shape and some nice silvery foliage on that new growth. Ooh, this is a nice new one.
Geranium sedoides, the South African geranium. This came to us last year as a custom item that we grew, and we're keeping it forever. If I have anything to say with it, it's just so beautiful. The silvery foliage, it feels good to the touch. The way the light catches it is beautiful, and it is in our foliage program, but it will bloom later in the season. And as you can see, those flowers are just gorgeous. And it's an elegant plant. Those flowers bloom on this wiry, airy stem that dangles high above it. And I can just picture this being used in the most interesting ways and combinations. I'm very excited for this one.
Mm-hmm. Helichrysum silver ribbon. This one's a renew, so you've seen it in the past from us. Another one that we love silver foliage, so we like to offer multiple different textures and looks. And this, like any of them, they're going to be super drought tolerant, low maintenance, great for combos. Ipomia, we have to switch things out a little bit every year. So Solar Power Red is coming in. This is a trilobed dark red foliage. So, compact 24 to 36 inches is the spread on it, and 10 to 12 height. This Kalanchi has been around in our succulent collections, otherwise known as lavender scallops or variegated or tricolor Kalanchi, and we love it so much that we've decided to add it as its own special single species in the foliage program. Makes a fantastic houseplant if people have enough sun, or even if they don't, they just want to limp it along until next year. It might create these cute little plantlets at each of those little notches later on in the summer. It just does these amazing things. And then if it's happy enough, it gets enough sun throughout the summer, it does have a flush of these sweet apricot colored trumpet shaped flowers later in the year that they send up spikes of that. Super fun. We love this. Muehlenbeckia, the Nana, this is another renew. It has been around. And this one is going to have a tighter growth habit, smaller leaves, can be used in containers or even in the ground or even in a terrarium. Super fun multi-use on this. Hylia globosa. This is another fun succulent type plant, and it's a fun house plant. It has these cute little underside leaves that are transparent if you look at it close up like that. Otherwise, when you step back, it does have these nice, really dark red stems and dark green the tops of the leaves are nice dark green. So it does have a really nice dramatic look to it from afar. Oh, this is controversial on this one. The alarms go off when the firethorn is talked about. We have mixed feelings about this, so just warning that those spikes, they are prickly and they do drop off. So if somebody did want to grow this in some place where they garden with their hands or with their feet, just let them know to be aware of that. It is a very unusual, fun plant to, look at. And if people just want to have something fun and kind of stay away from it, we're a little bit conflicted on it, but it's a special thing in its own right. So just it comes with that warning. All right. So on to annual grass. Again, these are in the 4-inch pots and 10 pots in a flat. Carex Moon Falls. This is a swap out for one of our other Carexes that was slower growing. This one's going to be nice and vigorous, nice full foliage with that variegated green and white, nice and shiny. Low light, it's going to like low light situations.
Juncus flying hedgehogs. This is a cute new one that'll be great for damp and wet soils. If you have any area around a little pond or a little in-ground bird bath, this would be a great addition there. Or in planters that with some other wet-loving things. Gets 8 to 14 inches tall, and it's really for these seed heads, which look like little flying hedgehogs in the air.
So cute. And then one last new grass, Lomandra, Miner's Glow, and nice chartreuse foliage and abundant foliage. So it looks like a really shaggy hairdo, super cute. So in dark shade, it's going to be a lighter green. So in different lights, it's going to have different tones. And it may produce a small white flower later on. Okay, all right. So here are the new border gems. The border gems are sold in 606 flats, which is there are 6 plants per pack, and there are 6 packs per flat. And they are sent with we'll send along the bench cards with your first shipment. And those are the 5x7 waterproof and UV resistant cards with a photo of the plant, either the flowers or the fruit, because we do send them along with our vegetables. And there's going to be some growing information and some tips on those too to help you sell them. So Eli is going to join us in a few of the plants here, and let's get started.
Hey, hi, I'm Eli. I'm the seed grower here at Rush Creek Growers. So a lot of the border gems and most of the vegetables are grown from seeds by me. So yeah, we've got a couple new calendulas that I think are pretty fun. And everybody knows calendula. They're kind of basic. But they're great little pollinator attractors. You use them in tea, you can use them in lotions and oils and all that stuff. Put them in salads. But we thought, hey, let's rather than having a basic calendula, let's have a few that are extra. So this radio is this your same kind of orange color, but it's sort of a quill petal look. So when you get them and they're really double, they sort of look like a little sea urchin, and they're a vintage variety from like the 40s or 50s, which is also kind of cool. So, and then we also added, can we beam ahead to the next slide? There. Okay, I love these flashbacks because the back of the petal is a darker color, kind of a maroon, and then the front can be sort of peachy or sort of a soft yellow color, but there's something really dramatic having that different color in the back when the lights come through and when they're double. See what a fun textural thing it is? So yeah, these are both from Wild Garden Seed out in Oregon, and they breed cool lettuce, they breed cool kale, and they breed cool flowers. So I'm excited to have two of their fun calendulas. So why be basic when you can be extra?
Okay, and coming back, this is a renew Celosia Kramer's Amazon. We really love the height on this and the foliage, and then of course along with the blooms. So that'll be one that gets very tall. It's great for cutting. And this one, Eli's going to chat a little bit about.
So it's related to our basic bachelor buttons, but it's much bigger, fluffier, like 2 or 3 inches across the flower head. This picture kind of doesn't do justice to how big these are, but it's great as a cut flower, kind of dramatic and tall, 3+ feet tall. I don't know about the smell. We're going to have to see, as it says. Some call it sunny, some call it chocolate. I don't know. You'll have to see what you think of the smell, but it's just a much more dramatic statement than your basic bachelor buttons. So I think it's going to be kind of fun, and it's a really clean white, not like a off white or a cream. It's like cacao white. So
Great. And next we have a couple new Cosmos. This is Pied Piper Red. Really cool, fun petals. And they're, of course, always make a great cutting flower. And here's the larkspur. We're excited about this. Eli wanted to say a little bit about this one too.
yeah, this is another one from the fun folks out at Wild Garden Seed in Oregon. Um, I'm just so happy we're bringing back classic larkspur. It's just such an old school, early spring, cool weather kind of thing. And it's like kind of old, it's kind of cottage gardeny, but also so classic and graceful, and the shapes of the buds and the shapes of the petals. So, it's like a little delphinium that you can grow as an annual. They are related. But we picked this one out just because of that delicate picotee around the edge. And again, it's a clean white with this just purpley, violety picotee around the edges. So we think it's going to be pretty fun. We'll see. But I'm just happy to have a regular larkspur back in the fold.
Yeah, and Eli, do you think this is going to seed around at all?
Maybe a little bit. If they're happy because they like having some cool time. So if they're hanging around in the ground and they go through a winter, we'll see what happens. I don't think they're going to get crazy with it, but it's been a while since I've grown larkspur in the garden, so we'll see.
Sounds good. All right, that'll be fun to see. All right, and then we did have to switch out a few of our Lisianthus. So the red that we're doing is Rosita 3 red, and so that I think replaces Arena red, and this Rosita white replaces Super Magic white. So we're just looking for more consistency in our variety in our series. And marigolds, we're doing a different white. This is White Swan. So we'd like to stick with sweet cream, and we can't get sweet cream anymore. And Vanilla, we really liked vanilla. We can't get that anymore. So we were really going to stick with some of these, the larger, taller, big African type white marigolds. And Snapdragon red, this is double shot crimson red. This replaces the royal. So, but this one's really fun. It's upward facing double. So that'll be really cute with the fun texture. And of course, it's always going to attract pollinators and hummingbirds. Okay, here we have the large annuals, and these are the large 5¼ inch square pots. There are 8 pots per flat. The Brugmansias are also in this category, and they are in the tray 3-gallon pots, sold as eaches. Gary is joining us, and he is kind of our large annual tropical enthusiast and our basket designer, so he's going to talk about a few of these items. But first up is Acanthus. This is also known as Bear's Breeches. It has many different common names. Super fun, shiny foliage. And then later in the summer, it's going to send up about midsummer, these snapdragon type flowers. Very, very sweet, adorable. Pollinators are going to love these. Agapanthus, this is also known as African lily. This makes a great specimen, is wonderful in containers. You can bring it in the winter. It doesn't need a ton of sun. It'll tolerate low sun through the winter, and then it does like to be full or part sun in the summer. Gary was going to chat a little bit about this ginger. Take it away, Gary.
This is something that we've had long ago, and then I don't know if it wasn't available or something, but it's just one of those wonderful specimen plants to add to large containers. It really needs no help to survive. It's low maintenance, low water, and just has that stunning variegation. In a pot by itself, it's just wonderful. So it does great in part shade. If you're lucky enough to have it around long enough, it might flower for you, which makes it a great pollinator. But I think that's a little bit rare, but it is something that you can overwinter and keep for a long time. It's just a great large plant.
Mm-hmm. All right, and then next we have the Euphorbia continifolia. Is that how you would say it, Gary?
Yeah, Catiniafolia. I kind of try to get that second I in there. Catiniafolia.
Mm-hmm.
This thing has been a long time coming. It used to be readily available from a supplier, and then it just sort of disappeared. But Suzanne always just really loved it, and most employees did too. And so we always kind of kept pet plants around, and trying to keep it, get new plants because it's euphorbia. It was one of those things where we thought the fresh seed, we could collect fresh seed and get it started, because it always seemed to reseed in the floor somewhere in the greenhouse. Mm-hmm. But this year we were really fortunate, and we had great cuttings done from the plants, the pet plants that we have here. And it's just another one of those specimen plants with beautiful dark red leaves. It's basically kind of a tree, and it could be standardized. You could play with it a little bit. Although because it's euphorbia, you just kind of want to watch with the milky substance that comes out of it. It's a little bit it's not. Well, it's toxic, but it's not great for some people's skin or to get in your eyes, which but they're kind of a fun plant to play with, and they can get large too. So, it's yet another one of those, could be in the middle of a large container or just by itself. But they're really beautiful. Just a
Yeah.
beautiful plant.
Yeah, and I've overwintered these in my cellar. They drop their leaves and go dormant,
Right.
and mhm, so really easy to keep. Next we have this Iachroma. This is a fun plant. It looks like it might be related to Brugmansia or angel trumpet. These are like little trumpets. This is going to attract pollinators like crazy because of the flower shape. And then they are blue. This one is going to have like a bush forming habit. If, you may want to trim it a bit so it does branch. Another good one to overwinter. This Monstera torii, we have limited supply of these. They are a dwarf Monstera, so they're not going to get as big as the Deliciosas, but they're still going to get large. They're still going to be 4 to 6 feet. They're just not going to be ginormous. So they're still going to have those fun holes in the leaves, and the baby leaves are going to be solid. So a nice houseplant. This fern tiger is making a comeback. A classic Boston fern, but with the fun variegation on there. It's gonna add, a lot of liveliness to the house because it's got bright colors and stripes. So that'll be neat.
Right. it was one of those things that we used in when we did foliage baskets. It added fern texture, which is always beautiful, and that color. They seem to be available, and then they're not available, and so we were lucky enough to get them again this year. That I'm kind of happy about it, because they really are pretty stunning.
This Panacetum Prince, that's the one in the front there by the puppy dog. That's Tonka, my puppy. And it's going to have wide, kind of olive green, reddish foliage, wide leaves, nice and tall, great for just in a mass or in a container. All right, and now we're on to baskets. These we sell. We have 10-inch succulents. We have the 12-inch single species, and then we do the sun and shade combos. And they're all in those fiber mache pots. And then first up, we have Begonia Hula Blush Spreading. Gary, you were going to talk a little bit about this. Yeah.
The hulas have really really grown on me they're so reliable and so beautiful, can be in the sun. They're, kind of like a dragon wing, much more floriferous, because they're kind of shorter but get full, and super shiny, waxy leaves. I mean, all of the colors really have the same. They're all very much the same in their growth habits, and they're kind of stunning. They've kind of really wowed me, and just a basket full of those are just fine. One of our clients really thought the blush one color was nice, so we added that this year. We usually do red and pink, which we will be doing, I think, also.
I think we had it in combos last year, and it's really, really fun. It's the white is white, but it'll have a blush to it along the edges.
Right. Yeah, I can't say anything bad about them. They're so reliable.
Yeah. And then we love our Boliviensis. We're doing a different yellow. We did Florencia yellow last year, which is an upright. And this year we're switching over to this Bovia yellow, which is more of like a dangly, a smaller flower, more delicate, but very sweet, kind of a sweet, soft yellow.
Right. Hopefully we get our trailing out of our begonias. That's always
Yeah.
been kind of
Yeah.
I'm joined by Jack here.
In patience, we are doing harmonies this year, and this is Harmony Colorful Neon Red, which is not a true red. It is like it says neon red, so it's going to have kind of a magenta tone to it, and it does have a trailing habit. So because of the Colorful series is kind of a trailing, branching, floriferous habit. So these are for shade. And then the spectras, we have a new color for spectras. And Gary, you were really impressed by these last year. We had a couple solid colors.
Yeah, super wowed by the flower size. It's the biggest impatient flower I've ever seen, and started blooming nice and early for us. I was really happy about that. You know, usually it seems like some of the impatiens we have to wait and wait, but they were really fantastic. At home where I tried them out, they love sun. They, did really great in the sun. Shade was fine. But these are really about flower size. Super showy. So if you have a shady corner somewhere that needs color, these will show up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the bicolor is going to be nice with the darker foliage and the bright pink flowers. It'll be
Right.
really adorable. Portulacas, this is Color Blast Double Magenta, and we have grown these in the past as a mixed basket, and we're doing the solid color this year just for a little more streamline. We love these. Customers seem to really love them too. They just have an unusual kind of cheerful look to them with the pom-poms and the flowers that don't close every time it is overcast. They are going to have the tendency to be open more often. So that's nice. Here we have the new 6-pack edibles, really just the one. And Eli is going to take a stab at this one too.
So yeah, it is a lettuce, not a spinach, but it kind of looks like a spinach. This is from Row 7 Seeds, which is a relatively new seed company, and they're really excited about breeding foods for chefs. So they're really into taste and look, and we thought it looked interesting. We're going to try it. It looks to me kind of like a winter density lettuce, a romaine that starts out looking like a bib. That's what I get from this picture, but very smooth, not much savoy to it. So we're going to find out and try this new thing, but we're excited about it.
All right, so just the one new 6-pack for edibles, and now we're going to dive into the 3.5 inch. So this is one that I caught my eye, and it's a type of kale. We are calling it mustard just to keep it more in the grouping of mustard instead of kale, because it is different. It's known by a bunch of different names. What caught my eye is the description of it being complex and with the flavor that it's going to be, having overtones of like spice and heat and garlic and no bitterness, so that you could use it raw and you can use it, lightly cooked. So that really got me excited. I'm interested to try this. This is going to be great. So, of course, just like any of the cold tolerant cold crops, this is going to be great in the cooler spring, and if you planted it later, tolerant of any frost. but also it's going to do just fine in the hot weather too. And we are bringing back Pepper Gypsy, hard to replace. And, you know, it's a good AAS winner from 1981, hard to beat. So we're bringing it back. So this is a sweet, I'm sure you are familiar with this. It's gonna ripen to that nice, orange or red. You can pick it at any time. And it's gonna be great. Very, abundant on each plant. All right, this is our new hot pepper that Eli is going to talk a little bit about.
Yeah, we did some trials and I got different kinds of Korean peppers from several different seed companies, and we grew them all out in big pots out here last summer, and then we had some taste tests, and there was lots of disagreement at the taste test. Some people liked them hotter. Some people said, oh no, this one is just right, but this one was kind of in the middle. So I was really impressed with the size of the plant, with the productivity. It was crazy amounts of fruit, and they were ripe and red in a good amount of time. This is from Adaptive Seeds out west, and they actually got the seeds from Second Generation Seeds, which is a really cool little seed company that specializes in plants of the Southeast Asian diaspora. So people are bringing these seeds over here and growing them out and then giving them to kids who were adopted from Korea when they were kids. Those are some of the farmers growing these seeds. So we're excited about it. You can use it for crushed dried chilies. You can make it into chili paste. You can eat them fresh, but if you let them dry, they'll dry down pretty quickly. So, but they were pretty savory and with a nice zing fresh too. So we're kind of excited for this one.
Okay, and then Strawberry Wonderful Pineberry. This is a renew, so it is making a return. These are everbearing. You know, they bear heavier in the spring, and they're going to continue to bear throughout the summer, but that's going to slow down a bit. They do have that nice white flesh, which does blush a little bit, and then it does have a super sweet pineapple-y flavor. So these are a lot of fun.
Wisconsin 55, keeping it local and old school. So this was bred in the 1940s down in Madison. And then, with all the high-tech breeding and hybrids and stuff in the 70s and 80s and 90s, people sort of forgot about it, and then everybody got excited about heirlooms. But this is a great tomato. It's there's a lot of strains of it out there, and we're using the one that Johnny Selected Seeds in Maine got, because one of the growers at the University of Madison now got some seeds from the 1950s out of the freezer there and germinated them. And so this is the strain from those seeds from the 1960s. It's a nice mid-sized slicer, half a pound. It was bred for canning and stewing and sauce making, but it's also just a good tasty slicer. It's got some disease resistant, and hey, it's Wisconsin and we're Wisconsin. So I'm glad to have it back. Well, okra isn't something people in northern gardens usually think of growing, but this one is so beautiful, and it's such a fun plant to have this 5-foot tall thing with these beautiful flowers that turn into yummy edible pods. And there are some other red okras out there, but this one is actually more of a rosy pink. So we tried some last year and thought they were just beautiful, and we'll see if anybody else is interested. I actually tested some on my friend from Texas, who is a big okra fan, and sent home some plugs with her. And she said they were very tasty, and the plants were beautiful, and the flowers were beautiful. But like all okra, her caution was eat the pods before they get too big, because then they get all tough and woody. So just even if you don't want to eat it, it will be a fun, beautiful garden plant. And people go, what the heck are you growing? So, Okinawa pink okra.
Okay, so here we have our herbs, and these are in the 3.5-inch round pots, and there are 12 pots in a flat. So Babette is going to talk a little bit about a few of these. So go ahead, Babette.
Yeah, hi. This is our adaptogen collection. We're really excited about this. And it's such a growing area of plants that support people to manage stress and anxiety. And these were really carefully chosen to be easy to grow and to do well in our area. So, and they're beautiful in the garden. So I hope you can encourage your customers to explore this whole area. I think that's about it, Amy, on this one.
Yeah, and how many are there going to be in, like, how many duplicates do you think there will be in a flat?
Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Yeah, I don't think that many duplicates because it looks like we have 9 or 10 as a foundation. So it'll also depend on how we get all the starts go to see which get a bigger mix or not.
Mhm. So
So
that'll be a nice variety
it will be.
in
Hopefully,
each
it will be
flat.
mostly a good variety as we've tested them all, so they did do pretty well. And yeah,
Nice.
and like Geogolin, we've grown before in the past, but I think it'll fit into this collection. It's beautiful drapey even in a pot, how we've used it, and then you just cut it and dry it for tea.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, it does have a nice trailing habit for sure. All right, next.
Oh, I guess I'll carry on with salad brunette. We're
Yeah.
renewing salad brunette, and it's just such a sweet plant with that. It's kind of one of those underused herbs, but sprinkling it into salads, making another like a cucumber dish, but with a few of these leaves, they're delicate. It'll carry on. It's perennial, really. It's a perennial herb, so it's lovely to just fill in to any garden space. We have it in our herb garden and it comes back. It's great. So we just wanted to get people excited about it again.
Fantastic. And then next we have the hibiscus.
Okay, that was one I chose to do too. So we've had this before, but this variety is especially chosen because the calyxes that we can see here, the red bits are get ripe sooner. So I actually already have 4 jars of our test plant in a syrup to be, used in drinks, and you could dry it for tea. It's so magical, and the plant itself is beautiful and tall and majestic. You might have to be able to bring it in, if it was a really early cold so that it could finish up inside, but we're really excited about it.
Mm-hmm. Next, we have Lavender Anook Deep Rose, and this is a Spanish type, so it has those really pretty flags on the top. So a little bit of a rosy tone to that lavender color. And these, are nice and fragrant. They are going to rebloom throughout the year. It'll be a really beautiful plant.
And Amy, can I just jump in here? And we
Yeah.
really went back to, adding to the Anook series because we've had such good success with the other Anook lavenders we have. So it seems like a really solid, hardy for the summer lavender.
Yeah, so that's a really great series. Yeah, so then Anook Doublescape is another one. So this is a double flags, so it'll have a little more frilly flare to those top flowers, and another great long time blooming flower in this series. Lavender Plum Power. So, Babette, you had a little info
Yeah,
for this one.
it looks so beautiful, and like it's going to be this, as it says, dense coverage, and but we had some supply issues with it, so we're working hard to figure that out. But we may have a little bit of supply issues this year, but which sometimes happens with a new plant coming in. So we'll be able to get everybody's orders, but just wanted to give a little warning about that because I think it's going to be popular.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see that. It looks really cute. And then last we have saffron crocus, which everyone is very excited about. These are going to be shipped to you with foliage. So their cycle is they will grow out their blooms starting in the fall. So when you get them, they'll have foliage. They may go dormant over the summer. So when your customers get them, they may be a little bit dormant. We will have tags. I think we probably will provide bench cards too, so there'll be some photos for you to post up. And then in the fall, they bloom in the fall, and that's when you can harvest the little the saffron pieces or the stigmas. That's the part that you can dry and use in food, so commonly used to color rice, that really pretty golden yellow color. And these are zone 6, so you can kind of tell folks if they wanted to dig them up or maybe keep them in a pot or a container that they can bring in, put down in the basement or in a heated garage each winter. Or, there may be cases out there in the cities that people are able to overwinter these in the ground. So just so that you know. Okay, and then here are the perennials. These are in 4.5-inch quart pots, and they are sold per flat, so 10 in a flat. Actually, they're sold by eaches, but they come in 10 per flat. This first one is Achillea Millie Rock Yellow. We wanted to switch things up a little bit this year with our yellow, and this is a shorter version, the series, so that'll be a fun kind of perennial to have in the foreground. They are great for sun, nice compact. Agastaches, we're switching out our series on these a little bit too. These are also compact, which is kind of the attractant. They usually are awfully tall, and so if somebody is looking for a pollinator food that is a little bit on the shorter side, these are perfect for that. So we've got 3 colors: ember, purple in the middle, and sandstone over on the right. Allium cernum, this is nodding onion. This is a cute allium that's going to bloom and then have a little bit of a nod or a tip at when it blooms at the end. And it really doesn't, the bumblebees don't mind. They can go upside down just fine. So that's going to be nice for them, and kind of an unusual plant to talk about. Allium obliquum. This is a cerise, chartreuse colored allium. These are really fun, kind of like, what is that kind of a plant? Otherwise known as lopsided onion. So very cheerful and bright. Anemone frilly knickers, a fun name, but also a very sweet looking anemone. And this, I believe, is a fall blooming anemone, and it does also make a great cut flower. They're kind of a medium height, 22 to 24 inches, and zone 5, which most of the cities are zone 5 now, but anywhere else they may need a little bit of protection. Virginia, this is Dumbo, and the name comes from the round shape to those leaves, and they do have kind of a hairy texture to them, so that it reminds me a little bit of an African violet in the texture of the leaf. And that they also get those pink flowers in the spring, like the other Virginias you may be familiar with. This is Cephalaria, and it's gigantea. Does get very, very tall, 4 to 6 feet tall with the flowers. The foliage rosette is really interesting too. A little bit of a ferny foliage texture. So another stately kind of meadowy look to it. It blends well with other things. If you can kind of see in the middle photo, it's got some philopendula there in the background, which I thought looked really nice with it too. This is Delphinium Millennium Sunny Skies. We really love the Millennium series. They are first year flowering, very, very tolerant of a variety of weather, hardy, and they're sweet sky blue with the white bees. Dianthus Beauties Vita. These are dianthus that have kind of a carpet ground cover habit. They do have a really, really long, nice bloom time too, and they smell really nice too. Very fragrant. These dicentra, pink diamonds and white diamonds, these are the fern leaf dicentra bleeding hearts. They bloom for a really, really long time, super floriferous. They are PW exclusive, so we will be shipping them in those white PW pots, which we are kind of trying to get away from, but some things are just too irresistible, and these are one of them. Echinacea Sunseeker Sweet Fuchsia. We cannot get enough of these Sunseekers. They're very fluffy and floriferous, lots of texture to these, and echinaceas bloom for a really long time. These are nice and hardy, zone 4. Echinops, we're bringing these back. This is Arctic Glow, so white echinops. These are going to add a lot of interest and texture in the summertime, but even to the winter garden. So I would encourage people to hold off on cutting these back and leave them till spring. They're going to be really nice with snow on top of them or frost. It's going to add a lot of interest and beauty. This is Eryngium Blue Hobbit. This is a short blue Eryngium that's a little bit on the dwarf side. So really adorable, 8 to 12 inches. Geranium Frivolous Purple. This geranium has the smaller foliage texture to it, but the flowers are huge on this. So nice, large purple flowers. And that's going to create a nice ground cover in part sun or sun. Drosophila Festival White. We wanted to add a Drosophila, just it's a fun garden plant. It's nice to have around for cutting bouquets, and bees love it. It has a nice fragrance to it, adds nice texture. It's just nice to have. Heuchera Changeling, this is a fun one. So it's gonna, the foliage is gonna change depending on how old the leaves are and how they're maturing. So it does have that nice ombre effect. It could be anywhere from champagne to green to orange to red. So it's gonna really add some interest to the shade gardens. Heuchera Marmalade, probably familiar with this one. It's been around a while, and we are choosing to replace Zipper with this one. It's going to be a little more vigorous and a little bit of a faster grower. We love Zipper for its texture. This one has a very similar texture, but we're looking for that to fill out a little bit quicker. Heucherilla Pink Revolution. Oof, I think this picture sold us. It's super floriferous. So that's going to have an early spring to early summer bloom time, and those fun textured foliage with the green and the maroon that adds interest as well to the shade garden. Hibiscus Watermelon Ruffles. Oh my gosh, look at that. It's just fun. It's stunning. It looks like a party dress, and so it's going to add beauty. Simply. We do a lot of hostas, and in fact, I just wanted to mention we have so many that we have created a chart. So it's going to be easier for you to choose a selection of different habits and sizes. And I'm going to go just quickly through these and mention the names. So this is Fire and Ice on the left and Munchkin Fire on the right. Oops. Pandora's Box and Rainforest Sunrise. Shadowland Lone Star and Sound of Music. Silly String, Stained Glass. Trendsetter, Twin Cities. When I Dream, Wind Beneath My Wings. And Guacamole. So those are just the new ones. We have many more. So check out the website, check out that chart. Iris cristata is making a return for us. This is a really fun iris for ground cover, great for the shade or part shade. It really does well, and so you could have like a corner of the shade garden that you kind of forgot about, nothing else really wants to grow there. This is going to be great for that spot. Oh, these really grabbed our attention. These dinner plate, so Iris insadas, these are a Japanese type, and they are huge. Look at the size of that. So that's Eileen's Dream on the left and Harlequinesque in the center there. And this is Goldbound, which is a white, but also has that fun yellow center to it. Lily looks. These dwarf Asian lilies really are fun. We love having these around, and we like to switch out the colors a little bit every year just for some fun and interest and freshen things up. So Tiny Comfort is the one on the left, and Tiny Nugget is the one on the right. And when we ship these, we're gonna want to ship all of them to you at once, and we're gonna ship them in bud because we want you to have the longest shelf life, and we want them for you to have them when they're blooming so that they fly off the shelves. Nepeta chartreuse on the loose. This is a great, interesting Nepeta with that green chartreuse foliage and those nice purpley blue flowers. Persicaria golden arrows making a return for us. Again, nice bright green foliage. Gonna be different colors depending on the sun exposure. And then that fun pink flower. Phlomis tuberosa. This is a fabulous one to leave too. After it blooms, just leave the flower stalks and the seed heads for winter interest. Great for pollinators too. Phlox, so this is a woodland phlox, blue ribbons, and it has variegated, kind of a cream and green variegated foliage and nice blue flowers. So that's going to be a spring blooming phlox. This Porteranthus pink profusion blooms late spring, really nice, airy, beautiful flowers. It gets nice and tall, and the foliage is even beautiful on its own. So beautiful whether it's blooming or not. So that's going to be a great plant for perennial gardens. We have a couple new primulas. This is Ballerina Carmen, kind of a classic primula. So it's a nice compact habit, and it's a really frilly double flower. And Blue Zebra is making a comeback. So really unusual, fun, blue striped flowers with that bright yellow center, really eye-catching. Chrysanthemum, this is a perennial of the year. So we've got it in a couple different categories. And this is Smoky Mountain Mint. Gonna have some fun and jolly different colors on this plant. So there's that blush of maroon and red, and then the green, and then the white on the new growth. So that's going to be interesting for your eyes, and pollinators are going to thank you as well. Sedum Frosted Fire. This is a nice autumn joy. It's a sport of autumn fire, and then it has those variegated foliage and long bloom time. Great for those last snacks of pollinators looking for food sources in the late fall. Spigelia, this is Little Redhead, super showy, beautiful plant, has a tropical feel to it. This is zone 5, and it has been tested in the city's area for the weather we have here without a lot of hampering too. So it says zone 5, and we can believe that. So that's going to be a really great one to have. Stackies, that we're switching out our varieties. This is Pink Cotton Candy, super floriferous, 24 inches tall. Look at those flowers. It's great. Deer and rabbit resistant. And Tiarella, Sugar and Spice, another fun one for those soft pink flowers in the spring, and the interesting, fun, shaggy, ferny foliage for the shade. Vernonia, this is Iron Butterfly. This is making a return for us. We were able to get some. It's got that ferny, thin leafed foliage, and then the butterflies love the flowers on these. And this is Veronica Skyward Blue. This is another long time blooming, kind of medium height, nice compact mounding habit, very floriferous. And it's not popular with deer and rabbits, so that's great. And finally, this Viola, Siletas, also known as cyclamen leaf violet. And we've had them around in the greenhouse for a long time. They are kind of a volunteer pet plant, and we did decide to propagate them, and they're wonderful. They offer kind of a evergreen foliage, so that that variegated silver and dark green foliage is a little bit of evergreen, and then those sweet purpley rose colored flowers will bloom early spring.
All right, so we're going to move on to the natives, and I kicked Amy out of her desk for a couple things, but she's hovering nearby in case I mess something up. So by natives, we have a little bit of a broad definition. It doesn't have to be native to Wisconsin, but we hope Wisconsin, Minnesota, somewhere within a few hundred miles of the upper Midwest. So our first one is this hop sedge, this little carex. Well, not little, I mean, it can get a couple feet tall, but like all carexes, it wants to be somewhere damp. So if you've got, the edge of your rain garden, someplace where the downspout comes down, and then it's got these really fun seed heads. So, and hopefully the deer don't like it because, sedges have edges, they're kind of sharp. And so hopefully the deer will not be chewing on. That's the theory anyway. All right, and next we go to the queen of the prairie. Yes, queen. I'm super excited for us to have these because you don't see it in a lot of catalogs. They're super hard to grow from seeds, but once you've got a patch, you've got a patch because they spread by rhizomes. You may have to get out the spade and keep those rhizomes keep them in check after a few summers. They want to be where it's damp. They want to be the star in the middle of your rain garden or your wet spot or the place where the downspout comes down. They say 5 feet tall. No, mine were like 6 or 7 feet tall this summer. So they're big, they're dramatic, they're fun. Don't let them get too carried away. Give chunks to your neighbors or just dig up chunks of the rhizomes every so often. And the leaves are fun too. So love the Philipendula rubra. I'm so happy we have her. Oh, this one is another one I'm super excited about. We were on a field trip out at the Arboretum, and I went over to the shrubs display. And then I went over, and there was a great button bush, which was new last year. And then I went over to the farm at the Arb, where they had 2 or 3 big plants of Hypericum culminatum. And you guys, you know St. John's wort. Well, these flowers are like 1.5 inches across, and it's just a big puffball of stamens there. And it was it was like bee crack. There was hundreds and hundreds of bees on this bush over at the herb. And I just couldn't, I stood there and took pictures of it because it was bumblebees and honeybees, and they were just fighting to get all that pollen. And it was, it was that day, it was that week when it was the star, but it was so dramatic and so beautiful and such a great golden yellow on, a shrubby bush that's maybe 3 feet tall, 2 to 3 feet across. And it was so fun. And so we grew some plants, and they will not be a 3 foot tall bush this first year, but they should settle in. And in a year or two, they will be big and dramatic at your house too. Yeah. And so let's see. Anyway, let's go on to the next one. Okay. So Picanthamum muticum, it's the perennial plant of the year. What are those perennial plant of the year people getting to be hippies or something? They chose a native. Well, this is a really fun, it's a sturdy, easy to grow, long-lasting native. The blooms last a long time in the summer, but the muticum has these broad kind of silvery bracts around the front that make the whole plant sort of look frosty. And it's a really different look because usually when I think of mountain mint, I think of the ones that sort of look like very narrow leaves, sort of like rosemary or something. So this is going to be a nice addition to any native planting. It can also take a little bit of moisture, so you can throw it in your rain garden. And it will spread some. You might have to get out the spade and hack off some rhizomes after a few years, but it's not going to take over the universe. And it smells good. I'm really excited to have Allium cernuum in the stable of natives because there's something really unique about a plant that instead of putting its blooms up to the sky, it nods over. That's why it's called the nodding onion. And it's in shades of pink and lavender and maybe a foot and a half high. But the cool thing about this is bees can still pollinate when it's upside down. So you'll see bees in there like hanging on from underneath, like, trying to get some pollen. But other insects haven't figured that out. So, and like any allium or onion, it likes lots of moisture. So keep it on the edge of your little wetlands or rain garden, or as I keep saying, where the downspout dumps out, and they'll spread and be happy, and you'll love them every spring.
Yes, so now we have one new perennial grass, Spodiopogon sibiricus. So kind of like the name, it's got the kind of a Siberian iris foliage to it, also known as Siberian graybeard grass. Fabulous for architecture effect. It's going to perform best in that moist, damp soil. So do avoid the dry locations. Has a nice fall, purpley color to it. And yeah, this is another one I would leave throughout the winter to add some height and texture to the winter garden. Okay, so these are the perennial ground covers. They're sold in the 606 flats, so 6 packs of 6 plants. This is the first one. Ajuga Princess Leia saw this at Cultivate. It's so cute. Look at that double variegation. That's so fun. Nice and bright for shady or sun areas. They'll still have those familiar dark purple flower spikes. Works great in a container or in the ground. Alchemia, this is Alpine Lady's Mantle. So yeah, it is related to the larger Lady's Mantle that we're all familiar with. Only this is more of like a dwarf ground cover type. Cute little sets of leaves. It will get these nice little yellow flowers, and the leaves have a texture to them. They're a little bit fuzzy. Very hardy at zone 3. Very reliable, very hardy. Erebus, this is one of Babette's that she's going to chat about.
Yeah, hi. This one it's so sweet. This picture kind of makes it look like a big plant, but it's really tiny and sprawling. And this year we use it in our rock garden, and it bloomed in the spring, and it came back blooming just some weeks ago. So it's just a favorite, sweet, addition to a rock garden or border, and it's true, like we have rabbits running across in front, and it's been just been left alone, so it's really a beauty.
Excellent. And Arnaria.
Yeah, we have a we've also used that in our rock garden, and it's just been such a sweet, like a blanket on the ground, really glossy. And one thing it seems to need is water, like especially to get it going. So it don't neglect it, but once it's there, it's kind of magical. Even, he's showing it here with a lot of blooms, but a lot of the times it's just this beautiful shiny green mat.
Nice. So that's Blizzard Compact. Gypsophilia mouse ear. We have grown this recently in the past in the 4-inch annual program and realized it's a perennial. It likes to bloom in the spring, early spring. The foliage is really fun. It's gonna have like a large mouse ear shaped round leaf, and it's almost evergreen, I'd say. It kind of has that thick substance to it, so it's gonna stick around. It doesn't like to have its feet wet, but it also doesn't like to dry out too much either, is what I've noticed in my garden. And it's going to have those fun, sweet baby's breath type flowers that are larger. Iberis Mermaid Lavender. We're switching out the white for this fun pink lavender color. And it's going to be still on the shorter side, but it'll, when it grows, it does develop a nice kind of dense mass, and really tough plant, deer and rabbit resistant, blooms for a nice long time. And sedum, globosum, this is old man's bones commonly called, another succulent type ground cover. It's amazing to me that we have these wonderful succulents that are hardy. It's just amazing to me. So these are going to be, very short. It gets a nice cluster, like any sedum, of flowers in the fall, and it does get a little bit of a fun red flush on the foliage when it starts to get chilly out. So that concludes the Rush Creek Growers New Plants for 2025. Thank you so much for watching and joining us. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to give us a call, email, and get in touch. But thanks for watching.